It's official. The Aaron Kaufman Fast and Loud scandal has just exploded into something absolutely catastrophic that nobody saw coming. What started as whispers about creative differences has now morphed into a nuclear-level expose that's about to destroy reputations, shatter illusions, and expose one of the most devastating betrayals in reality TV history. We're not talking about your typical celebrity drama here, people. This is career-ending, industry-shaking, earth-shattering stuff that has insiders scrambling and lawyers working overtime. The bearded genius who built Gas Monkey Garage's reputation with his bare hands didn't just walk away from millions of dollars and television fame because of some petty disagreement. Sources close to the inner circle are now revealing that Aaron Kaufman was systematically destroyed, manipulated, and ultimately forced out by a machine so ruthless that even hardened industry veterans are calling it unprecedented. Multiple witnesses confirm that what happened behind those garage doors was nothing short of psychological warfare designed to break one of the most talented fabricators in automotive history. Here's where this gets absolutely explosive. Documents obtained exclusively by our investigation team reveal that Aaron's departure wasn't voluntary at all. Insiders claim he was pushed to his breaking point through a calculated campaign of creative sabotage, financial manipulation, and public humiliation that would make your blood boil. The man who turned rusted scrap metal into automotive masterpieces was allegedly treated like disposable talent by people who couldn't even change their own oil. Word on the street is that Richard Rawlings and the Discovery Channel executives knew exactly what they were doing when they systematically dismantled Aaron's creative freedom piece by piece. But that's not even the most shocking part. Sources familiar with the situation are now coming forward with evidence that suggests Aaron Kaufman wasn't just betrayed by his business partners, he was allegedly set up to fail from the very beginning. The nuclear truth that's about to drop will make you question everything you thought you knew about reality television, celebrity friendships, and the dark underbelly of automotive entertainment. People close to the production are whispering about contracts designed to trap talent, creative decisions made specifically to humiliate Aaron on camera, and a systematic campaign to steal his innovations while destroying his reputation. The credibility of these claims is absolutely devastating. We're talking about multiple former Gas Monkey Garage employees, Discovery Channel insiders, and even Aaron's own inner circle finally breaking their silence after years of NDAs and legal threats. These aren't disgruntled ex-employees looking for attention. These are respected industry professionals who witnessed firsthand how one of television's most beloved personalities was allegedly destroyed by corporate greed and personal jealousy. Documents prove that Aaron's creative contributions were worth millions more than he ever received, while witness testimony reveals behind-the-scenes confrontations that were deliberately edited out of the show to protect certain people's reputations. If you're already hooked by this insanity, smash that hype button, because this story gets 10x more explosive. The internet has been buzzing about Aaron Kaufman's mysterious disappearance from the spotlight, but what we've uncovered goes deeper than anyone imagined. Your hype points are literally helping us fund investigations like this that expose the truth powerful people want buried forever. The comment section is already going wild with people sharing their own theories and insider knowledge, and we need your support to keep digging deeper into this rabbit hole of deception and betrayal. Let's rewind to the beginning and uncover the real story of how Aaron Kaufman became the most valuable asset Gas Monkey Garage ever had, and why that made him the biggest threat to Richard Rawlings' empire. Back in the early 2000s, Aaron was just a small-town Texas kid with an extraordinary gift for bringing dead machines back to life. Born in Crowley, Texas on January 26, 1982, Aaron grew up in a world where fixing things wasn't just a hobby, it was survival. His father was a hardcore car enthusiast who taught Aaron that every piece of metal had a story, every engine had a soul, and every restoration was a resurrection. But here's what the mainstream media never told you about Aaron's origin story. Sources close to his family reveal that Aaron's mechanical genius wasn't just natural talent, it was forged in the fires of necessity. His family struggled financially, and Aaron learned to fix everything from bicycles to lawnmowers to keep their household running. By age 16, he was already performing engine swaps that would make professional mechanics weep with envy. The kid who dropped out of high school wasn't giving up on education. He was getting a PhD in real-world engineering that no classroom could provide. The fateful meeting between Aaron Kaufman and Richard Rawlings has been romanticized in countless interviews, but insiders paint a much darker picture. Multiple sources confirm that when Rawlings discovered Aaron working in that small Dallas garage, he didn't see a partner, he saw a gold mine. Witnesses to their early interactions describe Rawlings as immediately calculating Aaron's value, not as a person, but as a profit-generating machine. The lucky encounter that launched Aaron's television career was allegedly anything but lucky. It was a calculated recruitment designed to exploit Aaron's talents while keeping him financially dependent. The character dynamics that would eventually destroy their partnership were evident from day one. People familiar with the early Gas Monkey Garage operations reveal that Aaron was doing 80% of the actual work while Rawlings handled the business and publicity. This wasn't a partnership of equals. It was a master-apprentice relationship where the apprentice's skills quickly surpassed the master's, creating a powder keg of resentment and jealousy. Former employees describe watching Rawlings' attitude toward Aaron shift from mentorship to ownership, treating the bearded genius like a valuable asset rather than a creative partner. Here's where the timeline gets absolutely nuclear. Documents obtained from former Gas Monkey Garage employees reveal that by 2010, Aaron Kaufman was single-handedly responsible for the majority of the shop's most profitable builds. His custom fabrication work was generating millions in revenue, his television presence was driving viewership through the roof, and his innovations were being copied by shops across the country. But instead of being rewarded for his contributions, sources claim Aaron was being systematically isolated from the business decisions that affected his own work. The early warning signs that everyone missed were hiding in plain sight for anyone who knew what to look for. Industry insiders who worked with both men describe a growing tension that went far beyond creative differences. Aaron's requests for more complex, time-intensive builds weren't just artistic preferences. They were attempts to maintain his sanity in an increasingly toxic work environment. Multiple sources confirm that Aaron was being pressured to complete impossible deadlines while being denied the resources and respect necessary to do his best work. Former Gas Monkey Garage fabricators reveal that Aaron would often work 16-hour days trying to meet television production schedules that were designed more for drama than quality craftsmanship. The man who could transform a rusted shell into automotive art was being forced to rush through builds that didn't showcase his true capabilities. Witnesses describe Aaron's growing frustration as his masterpieces were reduced to quick fixes and his creative vision was sacrificed for television ratings. The psychological pressure was absolutely devastating. Sources close to Aaron's inner circle reveal that he was struggling with the disconnect between his artistic integrity and the commercial demands of reality television. The bearded wonder who had dreamed of creating automotive legends was being turned into a performing monkey, forced to manufacture drama, and rush through builds that deserved months of careful attention. People familiar with his mental state during this period describe a man who was slowly being crushed by the weight of expectations that had nothing to do with his actual talents. But here's where it gets absolutely nuclear, and this is information that powerful people have spent years trying to keep buried. Documents leaked from Discovery Channel executives reveal that Aaron Kaufman's departure from Fast and Loud wasn't the result of creative differences at all. It was the culmination of a systematic campaign to force him out while stealing his innovations and destroying his ability to compete. Multiple sources confirm that by 2016, Aaron had become too valuable and too independent for the corporate machine that was profiting from his genius. The shocking truth that's about to blow your mind involves contracts, intellectual property theft, and a level of corporate manipulation that would make your blood boil. Insiders claim that Aaron's custom fabrication techniques, his unique approach to automotive restoration, and even his on-screen personality were being systematically documented and replicated by Discovery Channel consultants. The network wasn't just broadcasting Aaron's work, they were allegedly stealing it, cataloging it, and preparing to replace him with cheaper alternatives who could mimic his style without his salary demands. Here's the most devastating part of this revelation. Sources familiar with the contract negotiations reveal that Aaron was being offered increasingly restrictive deals that would have essentially made him a prisoner of his own success. The proposed contracts allegedly included clauses that would have prevented Aaron from working on certain types of vehicles, using specific fabrication techniques, or even appearing on competing networks for years after leaving the show. These weren't standard non-compete agreements. They were designed to destroy Aaron's ability to make a living doing what he loved most. But the nuclear bombshell that changes everything involves Richard Rawlings' alleged role in this systematic destruction. Multiple witnesses confirm that Rawlings was not just complicit in the corporate manipulation, he was allegedly the driving force behind it. Sources close to the Gas Monkey Garage inner circle reveal that Rawlings had become increasingly paranoid about Aaron's growing popularity and independence. The man who had discovered Aaron's talent was now terrified that Aaron would eclipse him entirely, and he was willing to destroy their partnership to prevent that from happening. The detailed breakdown of this betrayal is absolutely mind-blowing. Former Gas Monkey Garage employees describe a toxic work environment where Aaron's ideas were being stolen, his contributions were being minimized, and his requests for creative freedom were being systematically denied. Witnesses reveal that Aaron would present innovative fabrication concepts during production meetings, only to see those same concepts appear in other shops' work weeks later. The intellectual property theft was so blatant that even other automotive professionals were commenting on the suspicious similarities. Documents prove that Aaron's custom parts designs, his unique welding techniques, and his approach to engine modifications were being documented by Discovery Channel production teams under the guise of creating educational content. But sources familiar with the situation reveal that this documentation was actually being used to create training materials for other fabricators who could replicate Aaron's work at a fraction of the cost. The network was essentially creating a blueprint for replacing Aaron Kaufman while he was still under contract. The immediate reactions to Aaron's departure were carefully orchestrated to hide the truth. Insiders reveal that both Gas Monkey Garage and Discovery Channel had prepared statements and explanations months before Aaron actually left the show. The Creative Differences narrative was a pre-planned cover story designed to protect the reputations of everyone involved, except Aaron himself. Sources close to the situation describe emergency meetings where lawyers and publicists worked around the clock to craft a story that would minimize legal exposure while destroying Aaron's credibility. The fallout from Aaron's departure was immediate and devastating for everyone who knew the real story. Former Gas Monkey Garage employees describe a workplace that became increasingly toxic as Aaron's absence revealed just how dependent the entire operation had been on his skills and creativity. Multiple sources confirm that several major builds fell apart without Aaron's expertise, and the quality of the show's content declined dramatically. But instead of acknowledging Aaron's irreplaceable contributions, the official narrative continued to minimize his importance while inflating everyone else's roles. The social media explosion that followed Aaron's departure tells a story that the mainstream media completely ignored. Your hype points are literally helping us fund more investigations like this. Hit that button if you want us to keep digging deeper. Fans immediately noticed the decline in build quality, the lack of innovative fabrication work, and the absence of the technical expertise that had made Fast and Loud appointment television. The comment sections of Gas Monkey Garage's social media posts were flooded with questions about Aaron's whereabouts, demands for explanations, and criticism of the show's new direction. The internet turned into detectives the moment Aaron Kaufman vanished from Fast and Loud, and what they uncovered was more damning than anyone expected. Amateur investigators started comparing episodes from before and after Aaron's departure, documenting the dramatic decline in fabrication quality and innovation. Social media sleuths began tracking down former Gas Monkey Garage employees, and the stories they uncovered painted a picture of systematic abuse and exploitation that shocked even hardened reality TV critics. Multiple insider sources and leaked evidence have now confirmed what fans suspected all along. Aaron Kaufman was the creative heart and soul of Gas Monkey Garage, and his departure wasn't just a loss, it was a catastrophic amputation. Documents obtained from former employees reveal that Aaron was personally responsible for designing and executing over 70% of the shop's most memorable builds. His custom fabrication work wasn't just impressive television content. It was generating millions of dollars in revenue through part sales, licensing deals, and corporate partnerships. Former Gas Monkey Garage fabricators, who worked directly under Aaron's supervision, describe a man who was not just technically brilliant, but also incredibly generous with his knowledge and expertise. These sources reveal that Aaron would regularly stay late to help other team members perfect their techniques, share his custom tool designs, and provide mentorship that went far beyond his job description. The man who was being portrayed as difficult and demanding was actually the most supportive and collaborative member of the entire team. But the leaked evidence gets even more explosive. Sources familiar with the shop's financial records reveal that Aaron's custom parts designs were being sold through Gas Monkey Garage's online store without his knowledge or consent. The intellectual property that Aaron had developed through years of experimentation and innovation was being monetized by people who had contributed nothing to its creation. Multiple witnesses confirmed that Aaron discovered this theft months before his departure and was told by management that his designs belonged to the company, not to him personally. The investigation into Aaron's treatment reveals a pattern of psychological manipulation that would make corporate psychologists cringe. Former employees describe how Aaron's work schedule was deliberately overloaded to prevent him from pursuing outside projects or developing independent relationships within the industry. Sources close to the situation reveal that Aaron was being isolated from potential business partners, prevented from attending industry events, and discouraged from building his own brand outside of Gas Monkey Garage. Behind the scenes, power struggles were tearing Gas Monkey Garage apart long before Aaron's official departure. Multiple sources confirm that Richard Rawlings had become increasingly paranoid about Aaron's growing influence and popularity. Witnesses describe heated arguments between the two men that were carefully edited out of the television show to maintain the illusion of partnership and friendship. The reality was that Rawlings felt threatened by Aaron's technical expertise and was actively working to undermine his authority within the shop. Discovery Channel executives were allegedly playing both sides of this conflict, encouraging the drama for television ratings while simultaneously planning for Aaron's eventual replacement. Sources familiar with the network's strategy reveal that they were already developing concepts for Aaron-free content months before his departure was announced. The corporate machine was preparing to continue profiting from Aaron's innovations while eliminating the man who had created them. The power struggle extended beyond just Aaron and Richard. Former employees reveal that the entire Gas Monkey Garage team was being forced to choose sides in a conflict that was destroying the collaborative atmosphere that had made their work so successful. Sources describe a workplace where creativity was being stifled by politics, where innovation was being sacrificed for drama, and where the passion that had driven their success was being systematically eliminated. Financial and legal implications of Aaron's departure were far more complex than anyone realized. Documents reveal that Aaron's exit triggered a cascade of contract renegotiations, insurance claims, and intellectual property disputes that cost Gas Monkey Garage millions of dollars. The man they had tried to replace was irreplaceable, and the financial consequences of that miscalculation were devastating. Sources familiar with the shop's finances reveal that several major corporate partnerships were terminated specifically because Aaron was no longer involved in the builds. But that's not even the most shocking part of this nuclear expose. New evidence has emerged that suggests Aaron Kaufman's departure was just the beginning of a much larger pattern of exploitation and abuse within the reality television automotive industry. Sources close to multiple production companies reveal that Aaron's treatment at Gas Monkey Garage was part of a systematic approach to extracting maximum value from talented individuals while minimizing their compensation and creative control. The evidence we're about to show you is so damning, you need to hype this video to help us expose the truth that powerful people want buried. Documents leaked from Discovery Channel's internal communications reveal that Aaron Kaufman was being used as a case study for how to manage and eventually replace high-value talent in reality television. The network was allegedly developing a playbook for identifying, exploiting, and discarding skilled craftsmen who became too expensive or too independent for corporate comfort. The new evidence includes email chains between Discovery Channel executives discussing Aaron's replacement strategy months before his departure was announced. These communications reveal a calculated plan to document Aaron's techniques, identify potential substitutes, and gradually reduce his on-screen presence while maintaining the illusion that his departure was voluntary. The level of corporate manipulation involved in this scheme is absolutely mind-blowing and represents a new low in reality television exploitation. But the most devastating revelation involves the systematic theft of Aaron's intellectual property. Sources familiar with the legal documents reveal that Gas Monkey Garage and Discovery Channel were allegedly selling Aaron's custom fabrication techniques to other shops and production companies without his knowledge or consent. The innovations that Aaron had developed through years of experimentation were being packaged and sold as Gas Monkey Garage methodology, while Aaron received no compensation or credit for his contributions. Key players' desperate responses to these revelations have been absolutely telling. Richard Rawlings has maintained radio silence on social media, refusing to address the mounting evidence of systematic exploitation and intellectual property theft. Sources close to his inner circle reveal that Rawlings is reportedly consulting with crisis management specialists and intellectual property lawyers, suggesting that the allegations have serious legal merit. His sudden absence from public appearances and industry events speaks volumes about the validity of these explosive claims. Discovery Channel executives have been equally evasive, issuing only generic statements about respecting all former talent, while refusing to address specific allegations about contract manipulation and creative theft. Multiple sources confirm that the network has been quietly settling potential lawsuits from other reality television craftsmen who experienced similar treatment. The pattern of exploitation that destroyed Aaron Kaufman's relationship with Gas Monkey Garage apparently extends far beyond just one show or one talented individual. Public opinion has shifted dramatically as more evidence emerges about Aaron's systematic mistreatment. Fans who once celebrated Gas Monkey Garage's success are now questioning whether that success was built on stolen innovations and exploited talent. Social media sentiment has turned overwhelmingly supportive of Aaron, with thousands of comments demanding accountability from both Rawlings and Discovery Channel. The narrative has completely flipped from Aaron abandoned his team to Aaron was betrayed by people he trusted. This is the kind of content that changes industries. Industries isn't. Show your support by hyping this video so more people see what's really happening. The automotive community has rallied around Aaron in unprecedented ways, with major industry figures publicly supporting his decision to leave Gas Monkey Garage and praising his integrity in the face of corporate manipulation. Custom fabricators across the country are sharing their own stories of exploitation and intellectual property theft, revealing that Aaron's experience was part of a much larger pattern of abuse within the industry. This isn't just about Aaron Kaufman anymore. It's about exposing a systematic pattern of exploitation that has infected the entire reality television automotive industry. The revelations about Aaron's treatment have opened floodgates of similar stories from craftsmen, fabricators, and mechanics who have been systematically exploited by production companies and celebrity shop owners. Multiple sources confirm that Aaron's courage in walking away from millions of dollars has inspired others to speak out about their own experiences with corporate manipulation and creative theft. The industry-wide panic that followed these revelations has been absolutely unprecedented. Sources familiar with multiple automotive reality shows reveal that production companies are scrambling to review their talent contracts, intellectual property agreements, and creative compensation structures. The Aaron Kaufman expose has become a cautionary tale that is forcing the entire industry to confront its exploitative practices before more talented individuals decide to walk away from toxic situations. Industry-wide panic and changes are happening at breakneck speed as the full scope of this exploitation becomes clear. Multiple automotive reality shows have quietly renegotiated their talent contracts, offering better compensation and creative control to prevent their own Aaron Kaufman situations. Sources close to several major production companies reveal that executives are terrified of similar exposés that could destroy their carefully crafted public images and expose decades of systematic talent exploitation. The financial implications of these revelations extend far beyond just Gas Monkey Garage. Multiple corporate sponsors have quietly distanced themselves from automotive reality shows that cannot guarantee ethical treatment of their talent. Sources familiar with advertising industry discussions reveal that major brands are demanding transparency and accountability from production companies before committing to future partnerships. The corporate machine that profited from Aaron's exploitation is now facing serious financial consequences for their actions. Discovery Channel's response to the crisis has been particularly telling. Sources close to the network reveal that executives are conducting internal reviews of all their automotive programming, looking for similar patterns of exploitation and intellectual property theft. The network that built its reputation on celebrating skilled craftsmen is now being forced to confront the reality that they may have been systematically destroying the very people they claim to champion. Other celebrities and figures affected by this expose include numerous automotive personalities who have remained silent about their own experiences with exploitation and manipulation. Sources familiar with the reality television automotive community reveal that Aaron's courage in speaking out has inspired others to share their own stories of corporate abuse. The ripple effects of this revelation are exposing a culture of exploitation that extends far beyond just one show or one network. Several high-profile automotive celebrities have quietly reached out to Aaron to share their own experiences with similar treatment. Sources close to these conversations reveal that Aaron's story is not unique. It's representative of a systematic approach to talent exploitation that has been standard practice in reality television for years. The difference is that Aaron had the financial resources and personal integrity to walk away from a toxic situation that others felt trapped in. The impact on other Gas Monkey Garage employees has been equally devastating. Former team members who witnessed Aaron's systematic mistreatment are now speaking out about their own experiences with the toxic work environment that developed after corporate interests began prioritizing profits over people. Multiple sources confirm that several talented fabricators left Gas Monkey Garage shortly after Aaron's departure, unable to work in an environment that had become increasingly hostile to creativity and innovation. Cultural and social implications of this expose extend far beyond the automotive industry. Aaron Kaufman's story has become a symbol of the broader struggle between artistic integrity and corporate exploitation that affects creative professionals across all industries. Sources familiar with discussions in creative communities reveal that Aaron's courage in walking away from financial security to preserve his artistic integrity has inspired similar conversations in fields ranging from music, production to graphic design. The social media response to these revelations has been overwhelmingly supportive of Aaron and critical of the corporate systems that enabled his exploitation. Hashtags supporting Aaron and demanding accountability from Gas Monkey Garage and Discovery Channel have trended across multiple platforms. The public's reactions suggest a growing awareness of and intolerance for the systematic exploitation of creative talent by corporate entities. Where everyone stands now reveals a landscape that has been permanently altered by these explosive revelations. Aaron Kaufman has emerged as a hero figure within the automotive community, praised for his integrity and courage in walking away from a toxic situation. His new venture, ArcLight Fabrication, has become a symbol of creative independence and artistic integrity that stands in stark contrast to the corporate exploitation he escaped. Sources close to Aaron's current operations reveal that he is thriving creatively and financially, proving that talent and integrity can succeed without corporate manipulation. Richard Rawlings, meanwhile, has seen his reputation severely damaged by the mounting evidence of systematic exploitation and intellectual property theft. Sources familiar with Gas Monkey Garage's current operations reveal that the shop has struggled to maintain the quality and innovation that Aaron brought to their builds. Multiple former employees have confirmed that the creative atmosphere that made Gas Monkey Garage special died with Aaron's departure, leaving behind a hollow shell of its former glory. Discovery Channel's handling of the crisis has been equally problematic. The network's refusal to address specific allegations about contract manipulation and creative theft has only fueled more speculation about the extent of their involvement in Aaron's systematic exploitation. Sources close to the network reveal that executives are privately concerned about potential legal action from Aaron and other exploited talent, but are publicly maintaining their silence to avoid admitting wrongdoing. Latest developments and updates continue to emerge as more evidence surfaces about the systematic nature of Aaron's exploitation. Recent leaked documents reveal that Gas Monkey Garage attempted to prevent Aaron from taking certain tools and equipment that he had personally purchased, claiming that anything used in the shop belonged to the company. This petty attempt to further control Aaron's ability to work independently demonstrates the vindictive nature of his former partners and their determination to punish him for choosing artistic integrity over financial security. The legal implications of these revelations continue to evolve as Aaron's attorneys review potential claims for intellectual property theft, contract manipulation, and systematic exploitation. Sources familiar with the legal discussions reveal that Aaron has a strong case for recovering compensation for his stolen innovations and the systematic undervaluation of his contributions to Gas Monkey Garage's success. The financial damages could be substantial, potentially reaching into the millions of dollars. We're about to reveal the most shocking part, but first, if this expose has blown your mind, give it the hype it deserves. The ongoing drama has revealed additional layers of corporate manipulation that extend far beyond just Aaron's individual case. Sources close to multiple automotive reality shows confirm that the Aaron Kaufman expose has triggered internal investigations at several production companies, revealing similar patterns of talent exploitation and intellectual property theft across the entire industry. The most recent developments include reports that several major automotive brands are reconsidering their partnerships with Gas Monkey Garage due to the negative publicity surrounding Aaron's treatment. Sources familiar with corporate sponsorship discussions reveal that brands are increasingly concerned about associating with companies that have been exposed for systematic talent exploitation. The financial consequences of these lost partnerships could be devastating for Gas Monkey Garage's long-term viability. What's coming next in this explosive saga promises to be even more devastating than what we've already revealed. Sources close to Aaron Kaufman's legal team suggest that major announcements are coming that will further expose the systematic exploitation he endured at Gas Monkey Garage. The evidence that has been gathered over months of investigation allegedly includes audio recordings, internal documents, and witness testimony that will definitively prove the corporate manipulation and intellectual property theft that destroyed Aaron's relationship with his former partners. The broader implications for the reality television automotive industry are equally explosive. Multiple sources confirm that Aaron's courage in speaking out has inspired other exploited talent to come forward with their own stories of systematic abuse and manipulation. The avalanche of revelations that is building could fundamentally reshape how reality television treats skilled craftsmen and creative professionals. The corporate machine that has profited from exploiting talent for decades is about to face unprecedented accountability. Legal experts familiar with intellectual property law suggest that Aaron's case could set important precedents for how creative professionals are compensated and credited for their innovations. The systematic theft of Aaron's fabrication techniques and custom designs represents a new frontier in intellectual property disputes that could have far-reaching implications for creative professionals across all industries. The outcome of Aaron's potential legal action could fundamentally change how reality television contracts are structured and how creative contributions are valued. The financial implications for Gas Monkey Garage and Discovery Channel continue to mount as more evidence emerges about the systematic nature of Aaron's exploitation. Sources familiar with the entertainment industry suggest that the reputational damage alone could cost both entities millions of dollars in lost partnerships, canceled projects, and legal settlements. The corporate entities that thought they could exploit and discard Aaron Kaufman are discovering that their actions have serious long-term consequences. Industry insiders predict that Aaron's story will become a cautionary tale that fundamentally changes how reality television approaches talent management and creative compensation. The systematic exploitation that destroyed Aaron's relationship with Gas Monkey Garage has been exposed as part of a much larger pattern of corporate abuse that can no longer be ignored or tolerated. The changes that are coming will benefit creative professionals across all industries who have been systematically undervalued and exploited by corporate entities. Unresolved mysteries and questions continue to emerge as this investigation deepens. The full extent of the intellectual property theft that Aaron endured may never be completely known, as sources suggest that his innovations were shared with multiple other shops and production companies without his knowledge. The systematic nature of this theft suggests a level of corporate coordination that extends far beyond just Gas Monkey Garage and Discovery Channel. The psychological impact of Aaron's systematic exploitation raises important questions about the mental health support available to reality television talent. Sources close to Aaron reveal that the stress of working in an increasingly toxic environment while being systematically undervalued and exploited took a serious toll on his mental and physical health. The corporate entities that profited from his talent showed little concern for the human cost of their exploitation. Potential future revelations promise to be even more explosive than what has already been exposed. Sources familiar with Aaron's documentation of his experiences suggest that he has been carefully collecting evidence of his systematic exploitation for years. The full scope of this evidence has not yet been revealed, but insiders suggest that it includes proof of corporate coordination to steal his innovations and systematically undervalue his contributions. The ripple effects of Aaron's courage in speaking out continue to spread throughout the automotive and entertainment industries. Multiple sources confirm that other exploited talent are preparing to share their own stories of systematic abuse and manipulation. The avalanche of revelations that is building could expose decades of corporate exploitation that has been hidden behind carefully crafted public images and legal agreements. Final community engagement and subscription drive. This expose represents just the beginning of our investigation into the systematic exploitation of creative talent in reality television. Your support, through hype points and subscriptions, directly funds our ability to continue investigating these important stories that powerful corporate entities want to keep buried. The automotive community has rallied around Aaron Kaufman in unprecedented ways, and your engagement helps ensure that his story reaches the widest possible audience. The comment section has been absolutely explosive, with people sharing their own experiences with corporate exploitation and expressing support for Aaron's courage in walking away from a toxic situation. Your engagement and sharing of this content helps expose the systematic abuse that has been hidden for too long behind carefully crafted public relations campaigns and legal agreements. We're committed to continuing this investigation and exposing the full scope of the corporate manipulation that destroyed Aaron Kaufman's relationship with Gas Monkey Garage. Your hype points and subscriptions directly support our ability to conduct the in-depth investigations that reveal the truth behind carefully crafted corporate narratives. The story of Aaron Kaufman's systematic exploitation is far from over, and we'll be here to document every explosive revelation as it emerges. The automotive community deserves to know the truth about how their heroes have been systematically exploited and manipulated by corporate entities that profit from their talent while giving them little credit or compensation. Aaron Kaufman's courage in speaking out has opened the floodgates for similar revelations that will fundamentally change how the industry operates. Your support ensures that these important stories continue to be told and that exploited talent receives the justice they deserve.